Jessica? The call came just as I had settled down at a table in the concession area of the cinema. The familiar voice that suddenly came from behind made my heart jump. I was taken aback. I mean, I had just been thinking about him. Strange to run into you here. Wait, are you alone? Of course you are. Who would want to see a movie with an old hag like you? But isn't it a bit embarrassing to go to the movies by yourself? I guess when you get old, you stop being embarrassed about anything, huh? Well done. Well done to you. You haven't changed a bit, I muttered in my mind. He's still the same emotionally abusive man he was when we were dating. But I was somewhat relieved to find that he was alone. It would have been harder to take if he was with that girl, and they both mocked me. But then, well, look who it is. Hey, sis. Here she comes. Yup, that's her. My younger sister, Emily. Oh, Emily. Yeah, I ran into her just now. The face he made when talking to me changed drastically when he started talking to her, a smug grin creeping over his face. Then he compared Emily and me, sighing dramatically. I still can't believe you two are sisters. One's an old hag, the other is a young and beautiful woman. Age doesn't have anything to do with genes, idiot, I thought, but didn't say it out loud. I ignored him and turned my face away. Emily is a 28-year-old office worker, 12 years younger than me, who just turned 40. My youngest sister of 3. She's young and glamorous. She was popular among men and was dating an incredibly handsome man who was a year older than her. But then, out of nowhere, she began seducing my ex-boyfriend, Ethan. Ethan, who was easily smitten by a young and beautiful woman, fell for her hard. And just like that, despite being on the verge of getting married, I was dumped. But to be honest, I was also somewhat relieved. From that time, there were already signs of emotional abuse. You're so damn ugly. Whenever Ethan saw a beautiful female celebrity on TV, he would compare me to her and dish out derogatory comments. He would use words like ugly, old hag, or fat. He had no filter. However, his lack of vocabulary, despite his tendency to spew insult, was so characteristic of him. Looking back now, he was a verbally abusive jerk with a poor vocabulary. When we first started dating, he was 2 years younger, so he occasionally called me an old lady. But he was usually kind and would say things like, "Jessica, you're the only one for me," or "I want to make you happy." So I thought that the occasional harsh words were his way of expressing affection, in his own twisted way. How naive I was. About 6 months later, when old lady turned into old hag, I finally began to question his attitude. Hey, could you please stop calling me an old hag? I mustered up the courage to confront him shortly after he proposed to me. I thought it would be best to voice my concerns before we started living together. However, Ethan didn't understand my feelings at all. Huh? Why? Just the truth, isn't it? That's not the point. Nobody wants to be called an old hag. Common sense. He closed his eyes with an uncomfortable look and scratched his head irritably. Geez, what a pain. It's only a pain because you're being so rude. So it's my fault now. You're the one who proposed to me, remember? We're supposed to spend the rest of our lives together, right? But with this, I can't handle it. If you can't handle it, then you shouldn't have said yes. But you said yes, so don't complain. With that, he turned his back and left the room. From then on, we had similar conversations, over and over again. Ugh, you always complain about the same thing. It's just so annoying. I wish I was with a younger woman. Ethan started talking like that before long, and I started retaliating in kind. If you like younger women, why don't you marry one? But you can't, so you compromised with me. Am I wrong? Huh? I'm putting up with wanting younger women to marry you, and that's how you respond? That's why I'm saying you shouldn't have bothered marrying me if you're going to talk like that. Well, maybe I will then. After a heated argument, Ethan would always storm out of the room, slamming the door with a loud bam. But by the time he returned home, he would always bring me a present, as if to make amends. Here, take this. What's this? In his hand, there was a bouquet. My favorite flowers. Sure, younger girls are cute, but if I were to marry, I'd choose a mature woman like you. I only want to live with you. When he said such words, the resolution in my heart to never forgive him would immediately unravel, and things would always return to the way they were. But everything changed when Emily, my little sister, began to make eyes at him. Even when Ethan and I fought, he stopped bringing presents. He would call me an old hag and ugly. I would retaliate, and we would end up fighting, with him storming out of the room. At first, he would return home sulking, and we would eat dinner together. But gradually, he started staying out more, and before I knew it, it became normal for me to spend the nights alone after a fight. And then, one day, just before our supposed marriage, Ethan broke up with me to marry Emily. Sis, I'm really sorry. Emily said so, seemingly unapologetic. Jess, you should snag yourself a nice young man and get back at them. That's what my brother Sam said when I explained the situation. He is 32 years old, the younger brother between Emily and me. He had long been fed up with Emily's selfish behavior, and even now, he showed his anger openly. But there's no one like that. It's impossible. Don't worry, there's a good guy at my work. I'll introduce you. You just need to pretend to date him. But won't that be a bother for him? Not at all. He'll be more than willing. Why? Sam grinned. You'll understand in time. Plus, he's not just any man. He's the kind of guy who can punish not only Ethan, but Emily as well. I had no idea what he meant. Was he saying this man was exceptional? But why would such a person agree to pretend to be my boyfriend? Full of questions, I agreed to meet this man. He introduced himself as Jordan. Young, handsome, and to top it off, a sweet voice. Sam's words were on point. No, he was even more than a good guy. But something surprised me even more. He was the super handsome guy Emily dated before she took Ethan away from me. I'm sorry. That must have surprised you. Yeah, but why? As I asked, my imagination ran wild, and I felt as if I had already understood. Perhaps he also wanted to knock Emily off her high horse, I assumed. Jordan, he looked down, seemingly hesitant to answer. That's because I can't say no to Sam. Got it. Anyway, thanks. No problem. And so, our pseudo-couple operation between Jordan and me kicked off. To get to know each other, we started meeting every now and then. From what he told me, he met Emily through Sam's introduction as well. It seems they went on several dates, but he couldn't get along with Emily, who likes to show off, so he broke up with her. I initially suspected their breakup was because Emily started to seduce Ethan, so this revelation was a bit surprising. But that wouldn't explain why he agreed to play the boyfriend role in our operation. What could this man be thinking? I pondered. But my time with him was calm and comforting regardless. Unlike Ethan, he never belittled me. About a week ago, he suggested, let's go watch a movie together next time. Today was a day off for both of us, so we came to the movie theater. As Jordan went to get some drinks, I sat on a chair, waiting. Just when I was thinking about how we're going to knock Ethan and Emily off their pedestals, that's exactly when I was approached by them. Ethan looked at me and said, "Ugly, old," and laughed joyously. Then a few of his friends showed up. Hey Ethan, is that your ex? Yeah, just bumped into her. What a coincidence, huh? I mean, seeing her again, I realized how ugly she really is. Can't believe I dated someone like her. His friends chuckled uncomfortably, exchanging glances and peeking at me. Well, I guess you guys would be at a loss for words if you found yourself in such a situation. Ethan, you should apologize to your friends for putting them in such an awkward position. But he just keeps on talking, not paying any mind to their discomfort. I mean, really, dumping the old hag was the best decision I made. Emily's young, cute, and I'm not ashamed to show her off to my friends, so we can hang out like this. What's going on here? Interrupted from behind. Sweet, velvety voice. He came back at just the perfect moment. I turn around and give a small smile. Nah, just ran into an old acquaintance. Was having a quick chat. Then my eyes quickly returned to Ethan and his friend, my smile widening. I'm leaving now. My boyfriend is here. The eyes of Ethan and Emily widened in surprise. I thought weren't you here alone? That's what you just assumed. I never said I was. I took a deep breath, gathering my courage, and then looked Ethan straight in the eyes. Ethan, thanks for breaking up with me. Huh? His eyebrows furrowed in confusion. I took this as a good sign, and continued. In fact, I'm dating this guy right now, and I'm super happy. He's younger, more handsome, and kinder than any boyfriend I've had before. His face turned a shade of crimson as he took this in. Emily next to him was twisting her beautiful face in discomfort. Their friends were covering their mouths or looking down to suppress their laughter. I then said, "See ya," and turned my back to them, linking my arm with Jordan's, who was holding our drinks. Take that, you verbally abusive jerk. Once we were out of their sight, I detached my arm from Jordan's. I'm sorry for dragging you into this, but thanks to you, I managed to get back at them. Thank you. No, not at all, he replied. Jordan suddenly became bashful, his gaze dropping. Actually, I should be thanking you. You pretending to be my girlfriend, saying you're happy, it made me really glad. Huh? I couldn't help but let out a surprised sound. I didn't understand what he was trying to say at all. He lifted his face, and our eyes met. I've liked you for a long time, Jessica. I was so surprised. I couldn't even make a sound. I could feel my eyes widening in disbelief. My mind was in a whirl. The only word I managed to say was, "Why?" Jordan averted his gaze again. Well, I broke up with Emily because I couldn't keep up with her selfishness. But more than that, I fell in love with you, Jessica. That was the bigger reason. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Yes, I've known him before our fake couple strategy. He was introduced to me as Emily's boyfriend, and we had met several times after that. It was likely Emily was flaunting her handsome boyfriend to me. I never thought it would lead to this, but I don't understand. Why would you fall for someone like me? He quickly looked up at me and vehemently exclaimed, What do you mean, someone like you? Jessica, you're an amazing woman. You gave me advice when I was unsure about where to take Emily on a date. When I accidentally cut myself, you immediately treated the wound. Remember when a kid nearby had a heat stroke? You were the first to act. You calmed down his mother while cooling him down and getting him something to drink. I've always thought you were a wonderful woman after seeing all that. But then, Jordan lowered his gaze. Emily seemed to have noticed my feelings, and after I broke up with her, she suddenly started flirting with Ethan, and even ruined a potential marriage because of that. I'm really sorry about that. That's why I was so glad I could help out this time. This surprised me even more. Who could have guessed Emily's seduction of Ethan was driven by jealousy towards me. She was young, beautiful, and most of her life seemed like she was in the middle of a popularity peak. Yet, as I thought about it, maybe that's why she was so envious of me. Her pride, believing herself to be more attractive, was deeply wounded. From what I heard later, it seems that Jordan had been asking Sam for advice on various matters. It was Sam who suggested that it would be better to break up with Emily. And just as they were considering how to approach me, I just so happened to go and tell Sam about Ethan and Emily. For them, that must have been a golden opportunity. Afterwards, the relationship between Ethan and Emily deteriorated rapidly. Emily, out of spite towards me, got closer to Ethan. No wonder she is on the road to unhappiness, since she even married the abusive man because of such a thing. At first, Ethan, who had been kind with his words, soon began to show his true colors. His comments were along the lines of, "The food is so bad I can't eat it. I don't like the way you clean." And, "Don't you dare spend my hard-earned money when you can't even do housework properly." Fully embodying the abusive husband, and Emily frequently called our parents' home in tears. But of course, our parents know that she stole Ethan from me when we were about to get married. Every time she calls, they seem to scold her, saying it's her own fault. Emily, at her wit's end, appears to have started an affair, and I've seen her a few times walking arm in arm, looking friendly with a man much younger than Ethan. Ethan seems to be bitterly embarrassed and laughed at behind his back after making a fool of himself in front of his friends at that cinema incident. It feels like that's being twisted in a strange way and projected onto Emily. She is probably having an affair in retaliation to her husband's abuse, and even showing off her affair by going out with her lover in public. The ex-girlfriend who was dumped by you horribly is dating a much younger hunk, and your wife is cheating on you. What a pathetic man. She must want to make everyone see Ethan in that light and laugh at him. Her actions are still as ruthless as ever. He has also gotten into heavy debt from stress, and the two of them have ended up in a constant state of fighting. Jordan and I officially started dating. From a pretend couple to real love, it's just like the trending stories these days. He is still kind and sincere, and he not only pays attention to my looks, but also appreciates the good in my personality. As for my looks, he even tells me, "Jessica, you're beautiful." According to him, I have beautiful eyes, a cute smile, and I'm a fashionable adult woman who knows the hairstyles and clothes that suit me. His compliments might be a bit much, but his words have helped me regain the confidence that was stolen from me by Ethan. He even proposed to me a while ago, and we're currently preparing for our wedding. Of course, we will invite Ethan and Emily to the ceremony. They're family after all, and there's no helping it. I figure, why not let them have a good taste of regret, awkwardness, and unbearable embarrassment while we're at it?